Okay, the lighting is a little.
Off?
No, it's just dramatic. It's like, whoa, half of my face is like black.
Like an Oreo.
Yeah, drama, like an Oreo, that's right. Likutei Halachot. Today we start Inyan Kedusha deSidra. That is Ashrei Uval Etzion. This is based on Torah Pei Beis in the Likutei Maran second Chelek. So we will go through it, and it's not a large Torah. And it says as follows: Kiteise lemilchama al oivecha. So there means the posuk achor vekedem tzartani. You've created me, with a forward and a backward. Front side and the back side, and we learned, if you remember, that the Chol V'Kedem we learned in Torah Chaf Aleph, right? There's a seichel which is called Kedem, seichel called Achor, and here this kind of binary principle comes to talk about a different aspect, Zebchinas Keseder, V'Shelo Keseder. That things are in order and things that are not in order. Kedem u'pchinas keseder. Kedem is, where things go the way they should. Pchinas aleph beis keseder. You start with the aleph, you can go all the way to tav. V'achor u'pchinas tashrik. Tashrik is tav shin reish kof. This is backwards from the end to the beginning. Shelo keseder. This is the opposite of the seder. Ze pchinas odom v'chava. This represents the aspects of Adam v'chava keseder v'shelo keseder. Ultimately, the achor v'kedem tzartani is talking about the primordial bria of the Adam that was one entity that had two sides, with the front side being Adam and the side facing the back was Chava. And until the Nesira, until the separation that occurred later. This is keseder v'shelo keseder. So pchinas Adam is keseder, and pchinas Chava is kilo keseder. As you can understand, it stands to reason, that they're both necessary. Adam v'Chava, keseder v'shelo keseder are two states that need one another, that are somehow complementary, both coming to work for me. So it says that keseder shelo keseder is havaya b'milui alfim, when you take the name of Hashem, which is the name of Chesed, which is the Shem Havaya is Yud Kei Vav Kei, and you're writing it fully, you're spelling it out. There are four different fillings, so to speak, of Shem Havaya Baruch Hu. And these fillings represent the four elements of Atzilus, Bria, Yetzira, and Asiyah. So, and these Miluyim they have the name of these Miluyim. Actually, it's not a name, it's just a designation that we refer to, is the gematria of how much, if you add up all the letters of Shem Havaya with that particular filling, it comes up to a certain to a certain amount. So you have the highest one is Havaya B'Shem B'Milu Yudin. So that means Yud Vav Dalet, then Hey Yud, and then you had Vav Yud Vav, and then you had Hey Yud. Because when you spell out Hey, you can spell it out, either saying Hey Yud, there's a lot of Hey. You can spell it out with an Aleph, Hey Aleph, Hey,
Yeah, I'll view.
No, just Hey Aleph.
Mhm.
It's called Hey. And you can also fill it out with another Hey. Hey, Hey. Is it Hey?
Mhm.
So so Shem Havaya, so the gematrias go once is the gematria is 72, is Ayin Beis, it's called Shem Ab. That is the one that represents Olam HaAtzilus, it's the highest. The second one is Olam HaBriya. When you add, it's partially Yud, partially Aleph, it's Shem Sag. That gematria altogether is Samach Gimel is 63. The Olam HaYetzira, the total the Miluim is with Aleph. The Yud Vav Dalet remains Yud Vav Dalet no matter throughout the Olamas. But you have Hey Aleph, Vav Aleph Vav, Hey Aleph. So this particular Milui, this particular filling of that particular pie, that particular Shem, is called Milui Alfin. Some pies have apples, some have cherries. This particular one has olives. And Havaya b'Milui Alfin is Gematria 45, which is the gematria of Adam, the name Adam, person. Right? Aleph, Dalet, that's 5. Mem is 40, that's 45. That's called Shema. 45. And that is gematria Adam. So the Rebbe says, V'Havaya b'Milui Alfin, gematria ma Adam. Okay? And he says, V'chava u'bchinas malchus peh Torah shebal peh karinin la. Chava represents Torah shebal peh. You'll have to either use a paper cup or wash yourself a cup. Yeah. I'm sorry, I cannot be a better host. I broke my leg. I'm just telling them so they wouldn't think, what do you mean you can't be a better host? What's wrong with you? Okay.
Shouldn't.
Malchus peh Torah shebal peh karinin la. Chava Lashon Dibur. Chava represents the talk, the Dibur. Kmo shekosu v'layla lelayla yichav das. A night to a night will express, will enunciate das, will tell das. How does a person let another person know das? How a person imparts knowledge on somebody else? Through Dibur, right? Through speaking. We also have, right here, the Rebbe says that the Ina of Laila, Gesundheit, the Ina of Laila represents Chava as well. The day is Pchinas Adam, and the night is Pchinas Chava. This is Laila, and night to night, will express, will enunciate, will das. So this is, it will say, it will give over das. Hainu malchus peh. Ki malchus nikra dibur. We know what Pasach Eliyahu, that malchus peh karinin la. The dibur is called malchus. Why is the malchus called dibur? Al Shem ki en melech velo am. there's no such thing as a monarch without people to rule over. I mean, you're not a boss if you don't have no employees, right? So, eki en melech v'lo am. So that's one principle. Ve'en ha'am yodim retzoino, and the people don't know the Ratzon HaKadosh Baruch of the Melech, ela im ken kshe'hamelech megale machshavto v'retzoino l'toch diborah. It's only when the king reveals what he wants, using the dibur, using speech. Nimtza sheikar nogas malchusoy eino ela l'dei dibur. The conduct of how do you run a melucha, with the dibur you tell the subjects what to do. V'zeh pirush malchus peh. And it says like this: sometimes we see that things don't go according to plan. It's called shalok seder. It's out of order. You'd like things to go the way your way, and it doesn't go that way. It says kishleimus kol advarim. The reason why things look shalok seder, kishleimus kol, the perfection of everything, the completion. Eino ela kshem yuchodim umikosherim bo yisbarach. When they are united and they are connected to HaKadosh Baruch. Ki hashleimus v'amilui u'achiyus. The thing that is lacking can have, a marvelous body, but in order to make it alive, you need the chiyus, you need the vitality, you need the neshama in it. In other words, if you have an appliance, it's just a goylem. You want it to work, you need to plug it to the juice, you need to plug it to the electricity. The shleimus kol advarim is the chiyus. If chas v'chalila a person has, a limb, and the chiyus leaves that limb, then it's called, that something is lacking. And because the main thing, okay, so there's a beautiful hand, there's a beautiful eye, and if the eye doesn't see, means there's no chiyus in the eye doesn't see. So, you have a goylem, you don't have it's not good. And you need a seeing eye dog. Then it's called the chisar. Then it's called that something is lacking. And what is that juice, that power, that force, this energy, is the moichin and the seichel, the brain power. The chokhmah is the thing that brings life. The word chokhmah itself is made out of two words. Koyach, ma. Right? This says koyach ma, says ma chayenu, ma kochenu. Says what is our life and what is our power. So in a derech of pshat you would say like what are we? What is our lives? What is our power? We can't do a thing. But we already learned that the in Kabbalah, in Yiddishkeit, Kabbalah, Hasidus, the questions themselves are definitions. When you're asking ma, it's a definition. A definition of what? Of that there's something, but you don't know what it is. It's a state of being, which is called ma. That's the in of chokhmah. Then you have the state of bina, which is called me. Me is who? This is already more particular than ma. Ma, you don't know what it is. It could be a person, it could be a wall, it could be a guinea pig, it could be a fan, it could be anything. When you say me, now you already know that it's a person. You just don't know who it is. So it's still a question, but as we said before, it starts from the Keser. Keser is Aye. Keser is where. In other words, you don't even know that there's an entity over there. You're just talking about, where is who or what or whatever. I mean, you don't even know if it's a what, if it's a who, is it just a where. But nevertheless, as we said before, it denotes some semblance of knowledge. You know something. The epis goes on. You just don't know where. Okay? When you reach the level of Chokhmah, there's something there, but you don't know what it is. When you go even more particular to the level of me, you already know where, you already know what, that it's a person, you just don't know who it is. Okay? And it becomes more concrete as you go down by the spheres until the Malchus is called Zeus. That one. Zeadover, this. That they say that the Nevuah of Moshe Rabbeinu was different than the Nevuah of all the other Nevi'im. All the Nevi'im, their Nevuah was Ko. Ko Amar Hashem. Ko means like this. Like what I'm telling you, this is Hashem said thus, as I'm telling you now, that's what Hashem said. Ko means it's like it. Like what I'm saying now, this is what Hashem said. The Medrash says that Moshe was different. Moshe said, Zeh Amar Hashem. This is what Hashem said. It's not like this, Hashem said, but this is what Hashem said. The Shekhinah was talking directly out of the throat of Moshe Rabbeinu. That you can see Moshe Rabbeinu, at the height of the inspiration. Moshe Rabbeinu says, Ani Hashem Elokecha. The Shekhinah was talking directly to Moshe Rabbeinu. It was just a medium. He wasn't like a... But even when he was Moshe, being that he had a panim and his nevuah was panim befanim, they called Aspaklaria Meira. It's like a person who sees something in broad daylight. This, Zeh Davar, Zeh. So Malch is called Zeus. This. You know who, you know where, you know what, you know everything. At the highest levels, it exists, the Zed, Zeus, whatever it is, exists already, in a very, very abstract form, in the form of a question, that there's already a little bit a shtickle of a saga of, I know there's something going on. I just don't know what it is. And it keeps on becoming more concrete until it gets to Pchinas Zeus. So Chava is the Dibur. So he says the highest of everything, is the Chochmah. And the Chochmah, which is the highest of everything, is called Ma, Koyach Ma Chayenu, Ma Kochenu. What is our life and what is our power? The Ma, the Havai Milur Alfin, Gematria Adam, which is the building blocks of the level of the Chochmah, that's the Chayas, that's the Koyach. That's the living force which permeates the Avarim. And, you can lift stuff and you can do whatever you want. The eyes can see, and the mouth can talk, and the nose can smell, and so forth and so on. It says, Ma'u Adam. It says, Ma, the Shem Ma, is Adam, is Gemapshe Adam. And he explains like this. Why is Dafka, the Mavai Minut Alfin, that the union of Adam, is Kiles Adam below Aleph. You can't write, Adam without in Akdot Tikunei Tikkun Zohar. Hainu Avayim Alfen. If you remember, in Torah Vav, we said that before a person does tshuva, is a star pnes is gematria dam. Dam is blood, shfichas damim, bizyonis, and so forth and so on. This is what you need to add to that is yishma bizyon yidam v'yishtoik. Then Rabbeinu says over there, Yazrichet Aleph. Aleph is Nekuda Elyon, Nekuda Techtona, and in the middle, means that when you get the proficiency of keeping the equilibrium when you are doing really, really well, when you just won the Oscars, or we're down the dumps, nobody wants to know you, Bachal. You go in the street and they're moving to the other side of the street. Now you probably understand why when I walk. So when you take the Aleph and you add it to Dam, what do you get? You get Adam. He says this is B'chinas Adam L'shev Al HaKisa. This is the shleimus of a person. The ultimate shleimus of a person is when he fixes himself. This is shleimus Adam. And then the second shleimus Adam, the second stage of shleimus Adam, is to make the Kadosh Baruch Hu the king of the world. L'saken olam malchus shaka. That's the. So people are sometimes confused. Like, wait, what? So am I supposed to fix myself, or am I supposed to fix the world? What am I supposed to do? The answer is both. First you fix yourself, and then you go to the next stage where you're fixing the world. By the way, if you recall in Sipurei Maisius, the Maisa of Ben HaMelech and Ben HaShifcha that were exchanged, the nisyonis that they test him at the end, if he can be a melech or not. First nisayon is with a garden. Remember? If you can go into the garden and get out properly, that's a shleimus ha'adam. And the second nisayon is with a chair. There's a chair, there's a throne that nobody knows what it is and what to do with it, and all kinds of ways leading to it, whatever it is. Take a look at the story. They represent these two inyanim. The first one is tikkun ha'adam. If in the story, if what I'm telling you now is totally new to you, you should read the stories and know what we're referring to. But they tell him there's this garden and all kinds of metals, this unbelievable garden growing there. But when a person steps into this garden, he's being chased and harassed and just driven crazy, and he bumps into things and hurt himself, and nobody can exist in that garden. So when he comes to this garden, he sees that right in front of him, before the garden, there's this tablet with a bas relief of a person, and underneath it says that is a king that lived a few hundred years before, and he says that king is special, that during his time there was peace. In other words, before him there were wars, and after him there were wars, but during his lifetime there was peace. And so they said the king built this place in such a way that nobody knows, how to get in, how to get out, because the minute you get in, you start being persecuted, and you bump into things, and you get injured, and so the first thing he asked, which is interesting because none of the candidates that tried it ever before asked, it says, do they beat up? In other words, when you get inside, when they persecute you, when they harass you, do they actually beat you up? So they said, mostly they just harass you. They don't, that's one of it. This garden represents the Shleimus Ha'adam. What does it mean? The garden is obviously life. Okay? And the thing is, you go into the garden and you're being harassed from all directions. Okay? Every person is filled with things that he needs to do. Yeah, you have to go to the garage because the car broke down. You have to fix out the test for the car. You need to go shopping. You need to pay taxes. You need to do this. You need to go this. You need to go to daven. You need to this. You need to that, and this function, and that obligation, and this function. And from all sides, you're bombarded. All right. You have to do, and you have to do, and you have to do, and you have to accomplish, and you have to accomplish, and you have to accomplish, and you have to accomplish. And you're trying to control everything. You're trying to accomplish this. In other words, wrestle control of that particular thing, and then of this, and then of this, and then of this. And you plats, because things don't always go your way. Okay? So you freak out. You freak out, you bump into things. You bump into things, you get injured. That's the pshat that the person is being harassed in the garden. That person, that king, the king of peace, is the Shabbos. He understood that when you're starting to get harassed and persecuted, you don't need to freak out. All you need to do is go stand by that bas relief, that sculpture of this king, and everything is okay. He says, and only this, if you take this sculpture, you put it in the middle of the garden, everybody can walk. What's a pshat Shabbos? Shabbos it's not that it says that Hashem has finished everything he had to do, that Hashem ran out of ideas. That's it, he doesn't know what else to do. No, Shabbos is a Bria Fazich, which is a Bria of Shleimus. You don't need to do anything else anymore. It comes to tell you, you are not the boss. Everything is under control, just not under your control. When you're connected to that notion, you just don't need to do. You do what you can. But whatever happens, it doesn't work your way, you connect to Shabbos, which means you connect to Shleimus. You connect to the fact that there's a Kadosh Baruch Hu in the world, there's Shleimus in the world. Then you can get peace of mind. Then you can get serenity. I mean, there are things that you cannot change about yourself, things you cannot change about others, and it's okay. But people freak out. They go into nervous breakdown. Why is my husband this way? Why is my wife this way? My children this way? Whatever. You do the best you can. And anything that you cannot do, that means that's perfect. No, but I'm supposed to worry about that, man. And if I'm not worried about it, man, I'm being irresponsible. No. Forget. Worrying doesn't solve anything. Yishuv Adas, look, what can you do, what you cannot do what you can, and let go of the rest, stand next to Shabbos. Then that's Shleimus Ha'adam. Then, once you do this is, the Rebbe says, when you take the Aleph, and you put it together with the Dam, you get Adam. The Rebbe says in Teravav, Adam Lasheves Alakisa, a person to sit on the throne. A person sitting on a kisa is the Shleimus. Means that you are an Adam, you have fulfilled the image, the Tzelem Elokim, the image of God in you. Sitting on the throne meaning that you crowning HaKadosh Baruch Hu in this world. So it's very interesting, in the tikkun of the chair, there was a chair, and in that place there was a bed, and there was a table, and there was a lamp on the table. Everything is Merabbas Besamikdash, V'Karbonos, V'chulu, V'chulu, V'chulu. All the animals leading to the... But the main thing is, when you notice, when he took a look at it, he saw two things immediately. First of all, he saw that the chair is made out of the same box that he got from the tzaddik, from the men of the Yar. And he says there are all kinds of wood, put together, whatever, cleverly, whatever it is. And he saw that there's a rose at the bottom of the chair that he knows from the box that he had, it actually belongs on the top of the chair. And then he saw that the bed, he understood, because it became a mevi dorotach davar, that the bed needs to be moved a little, that the table needs to be moved a little, that the lamp is supposed to be moved a little, and the rose is supposed to be taken from the bottom to put all the way on the top, and bam, all the bria starts singing the songs of the animals in the forest. What it means is that bed represents, the intimacy and family life and so forth and so on. The table represents the parnasa, the work, whatever it is, and so forth and so on. Each and everything represents the lamp, represents the chokhmah, what to do. In other words, he doesn't puzzle off, doesn't write off anything. Leave your family, never get married, be celibate all your life, be a priest, go to, I don't know, whatever it is. Live with a mountain of skulls of all the previous priests that lived there for hundreds of years or whatever. It doesn't say that. All you need to do is just move it a little, put it in its proper place. The family life, proper place. Parnasa, biashras. The chokhmah, as we said, put the kesser, put the bridle on it, put the harness on your intelligence to make sure it goes in the road of so that it really brings about. The only thing that changes totally from all the way down to all the way up is the rose. The rose is the malchus, is the tefillah, is the dibur. But the olam, the rose, is all the way on the bottom. Tefillah, just come on, let's hurry up. No, I need to go to work, I need to go to this, I need to go to that. So this needs to be on top. Once you do this, that's tikkun olam. So this, you take your mashlim, the tzuras odom, and sitting on the kisa, sitting on a chair. Odom l'sheves ala kisa. The Rebbe says in the Sikha, says that when the Rebbe said that, he held the chair, and when the Rebbe was saying Teres, he was tzittering. It says the whole table was shaking from the Yos Shamayim of Rabbeinu, and he says when you sit on a chair, Odom l'shevet ala kisa. That's the so he says that en aleph les Odom belo aleph. Without having the aleph, the knowing what to do when you're up, what to do when if you remember, that represents Havai Milu Alfin, which is Gematria Odom. Hainu HaKadosh Baruch Hu was the chiyus of everything. That's what we say the Shabbos, and that's Poemaisius. Connect everything to Shabbos. Connect to the Shleimus of Kadosh. There's a Kadosh Baruch Hu in the world. You're not supposed to solve all the problems of the world. You're not even supposed to solve all your problems. When you connect to Kadosh Baruch Hu, He is the life of everything. And you give life to all of them. When you connect to Kadosh Baruch Hu, everything lives. So Chava is the day-to-day. That's reality. That is Chava. When things don't go like you want, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. This is Shkelok Keseder. When it's connected to Adam, Havai Milu Alfin, to Lebchinas Ma, Ayin HaKadosh Baruch Hu, אז יש לה shleimus. You're connected to Shabbos, you have shleimus. Even when things are not okay, they're okay. The Baruch Hu knows what he's doing. Then he can come down. If you remember on Thursday night when we gave the muscle of the blood test, the pin in the needle in the arm. If it's not connected to the chokhmah, to what's the reason I'm being stabbed, I'm being pricked, you can freak out. But the minute that you have the chokhmah, I'm just giving blood. I'm getting an infusion because I'm suffering from dehydration, whatever it is. So even though it tips a little bit, nevertheless it's nisha gefellach. So in Chavos, in Keseder, you're being pricked when it's mekusha to Chachma, to Adam, to the reason that it's beseder. Because Baruch Hu runs the show. He knows what he's doing. So then it becomes Keseder. That's the shleimus. Because the sechel that HaKadosh Baruch Hu puts in Hagos Malchuso, in the conduct of his Malchus, is with this, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives life into it. Achochma techayim. And this says, L'Hashem ha'otzim loyo. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the land and everything in it belongs to Hashem. In other words, when Chava, the Malchus, is connected to Hashem, then everything is perfect. Everything is b'shleimus. Whether you see it or not, it's b'shleimus. Mishu mechalek b'chinas Chava Malchus la'atzmoi, but somebody that takes the Malchus to himself, I rule the roost. I'm the boss. I'm the one who calls the shots. I'm going to rule. Now you're separating the Malchus from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Then it's obviously imperfect. Because the main chayas of the Malchus is the Ma, is the Seichel. No, you want to be the boss. You want to call the shots. Okay. You call the shots. Let's see what you do now. You know? In all the sages of the Goyim, the editorial board of the New York Times, the Washington Post, they know everything. Except it just doesn't work the way they say it. They say it well. But they know everything. All the time they know everything. They keep on saying this is going to be this and this is going to do that and this is the best thing you can do. That's the worst thing we can do. And it just doesn't come out the way they say. Why? Because they don't connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because it's Ana Emloch. I'm the one. I'm smart. I'm the one who calls the shots. In their chokhmah is without you. In other words, their sech is not that great in order to give chayes to the malchus. They cannot even run their own kingdom properly. They don't have enough seichel. The Seichel Kodesh Baruch Hu is the thing that when a person takes the malchus to himself, then things go shalok keseder. You probably want to ask us, what do you mean that the chokhmah gives chayes? How does chokhmah give chayes? When you see there's a dispute, which means it goes shalok keseder, things go wrong, okay? How do you settle a dispute? Somebody has a seichel. Yeah. What bothers you? What bothers you? What will make you happy? What will make you happy? What can you, let's say assume that you can't have everything. But what is the red line? This is the red line. And suddenly there's peace. A dispute is settled. What settled it? Chochmah. The sechel. When there's a din, means that two things don't fit. Something is going wrong. A dispute means there's din. There's judgment. Two people go to court. So what do they tell them? Go to somebody who can strike a compromise, right? What is a compromise? It's a seichel. That's the pshat of kulam bechokhma is beriru. All the dinim, all the birurim, all the sifting, all the tikkunim happening in the chokhma. If you have seichel, you see there's a problem. You have the seichel. You know how to solve the problem. So the chayes of everything, that things should go properly and what to do and every single thing, it depends if you have enough chokhmah to know how to solve this situation. If you don't have enough chokhmah, you can make things you're only going to make things worse. So kulam bechokhmah is bird. So they mikol the chachmei hagoyim and all machusam. There's not enough wisdom there. They don't have enough wisdom to solve the inherent problems. Shalok said, then things go shalok seder. And then it says, then things go shalok seder because they're in a state of shalok seder. Remember, we always keep on saying that when people behave a certain way, it's not that something outside happens to them. That there's there's a result that comes out of what happens is that they put themselves in a state shalok keseder, and automatically there's a result. The reality reflects it. when a person is, before he does tshuva, like we learn in Terevav, is Gematria Dam. The result is he is in a state of achor penei. He's in a state of dam. What does it do? Either shfichas dam or dam. He experiences people putting him down and embarrassment and shfichas dam, whatever. It's an automatic result of the fact that he's in a state of dam. When a person rectifies it, he's in a state of adam. If you separate the two, he says, "No, I'm sorry. I'm the boss. I'm the one to be." So you're in a state of Shalok Seder. Mimele things automatically behave Shalok Seder for you. It says, because you betoch bechina Shalok Seder, in other words, the Malchus Chav or Tashrek. The Malchus, the Pinas Chav or Tashrek is the opposite. When this bechina Chava is connected, however, when it's connected to Adam, to Ma, to the Chochmah, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then things go in order. And if it doesn't look, the first look that it does is go to orders, because I don't know. But I know the Kodesh Baruch Hu runs things. It's Mekusha to Adam. My Chava, my this, I have to break my leg, or this. Beseder, Kodesh Baruch Hu knows what he's doing. It's Beseder. Yeah, yesterday I had to go without a fracture, today with a fracture. Beseder. No. I said, I went to Terem, and I went to Terem, and I said, they want 90 shekels. So I told him I don't have any money. He says, well, at the end you have to pay whatever, at the end you have to pay anything. If I would have insisted on controlling Dafka, no, let's solve it now, let's this and that. They told me you go through the tipul and it's himself. Okay. So I went through the tipul, whatever, and it's himself, and this is what happened, finished in Masapul. When you're connected to Adam, when the Malchus, when what's happening, what reality is connected to Adam, to the Ma, to the Seichel, to the Kodesh Baruch Hu, everything becomes Keseder. Even Bechina Shalok Keseder is Beseder. And it says, and then afterwards it says, Ki also these Docho, because the Zohar says in a place where a Zohar is mentioned, the Nikeva is not mentioned. It means to say that regularly when you're saying there are two men, there's shnei anashim. Okay? When you're saying there are two women, so you say yesh shte nashim. This is nashim b'gvarim. But what happens when you have men and women together? It becomes anashim. Yesh 10 anashim. Some are women, some are men. So why are you saying Asar? Why did you say Eser, which is female, the female form? This is because when the male form is involved, so the female form is not mentioned over there. Grammatically, that means to say, when there's Docha there, when there's Chochmah, when there's a Kodesh Baruch Hu there, the Shalok Seder, the Chava, is not mentioned there. It's Nishkanoski, it's not Keseder. It's just that's the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu run things. That's all it is. Nimtza shebchinas Chava Shalok Keseder nisbatlin al yedei ha'odem Keseder. That fashion of things Shalok Keseder becomes battle to the Bchinas Odem Shekeseder. Let me just take a look and see what we have to do. We will probably stop here. B'ezrat Hashem, we'll need to continue this tomorrow.